Hi there, thanks for stopping by my channel to check out MP-57 Skyfire with me. So just a little back history. He did appear in the Generation 1 continuity, and he looked like this. He didn't look like a Macross Veritech, which he did in a commercial, but that is a story for another day. This version of him first appeared in Generation 1, and the story goes that he was friends with Starscream. They were both scientists on Cybertron, and on a mission, they flew all the way to Earth.
Skyfire and I were exploring what was an uncharted planet at that time. This one. Earth. A polar windstorm came up suddenly, and Skyfire and I were separated.
And now, millions of Earth years later, you have found him.
He almost became a Decepticon, which is why he has a Decepticon logo, but then he was turned to the Autobot side. Anyway, I'm going to keep this video as short as possible because there's a lot to go through, so it'll probably still be pretty long. Remember to like and subscribe and leave me a comment what you think about this figure. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, let's take a quick look at the box. It looks like a Masterpiece box. It is a gorgeous box. I do keep Masterpiece boxes, and this one is large. So if you keep Masterpiece boxes, keep in mind that this is a very large box. You got the MP-57, Cybertron Aviation Defense, Skyfire right there. There he is in alt mode and robot mode. And same thing on either side. You got him in gear walk mode on the side. And this just looks silly to me. But we'll go over that later. On the back of the box, you have all his accessories, different poses you could do if you feel so inclined. And not really much on the bottom. All right, he comes with a plethora of accessories. Being a Masterpiece, they just come with a ton of accessories to these days. So, of course, you do get a set of instructions, which are clear and say what you could do with everything. There's the opening cockpit, and then you have a card here. He comes with his double barrel rifle and blast effect pieces that can fit on like so. If I get that in focus, there we go. Just like that. He has 3 minifigures. Here is Wheeljack, Optimus Prime, and these are modeled after their cartoon appearances, which very close to the new Masterpieces. And then the only Masterpiece Jazz that we have that's official. I do hope this means that we'll be getting a official Masterpiece Jazz soon. Announced. I would love to see that. Although I don't know about the gray coloring. I'd like him to have the black instead of gray. But I would love to see a Masterpiece Jazz, as I'm sure most of us would. Of course, a blank piece for the chest, the Decepticon logo for the chest, a mask done in translucent plastic and painted white. This is kind of neat. There's metal there, which actually connects by a magnet, which I'll show in the review. And 2 separate faces, sort of like a worried face and a happy, weird-looking face. So you get this piece here, which is a connector for the flight stand. 2 pieces of orange flight stand, and these could go this way, or really any which way you would like to put them. If you have multiple, they connect. The same one that came with the MP-52 Seekers. You just kind of connect that on like that. This could go anywhere along here, and then work the piece. Just connect that piece on like so. Now the main event, let's take a look at Skyfire here. He does come packaged in jet mode. His wings are actually folded up like this. I think they're actually like that in the box. All you need to do is open them and take out the landing gear, which are the landing gear are down here, and the landing gear look amazing. I love the detail on these landing gear. I think they just look really, really good. Actually, all the detail and paintwork on this jet is very nicely done. Lots of paint. It's really heavy. It has lots of features you could do with it, which I'll go over in a minute. First and foremost, let's take a look at him on the flight stand. And to get him on the flight stand, you'll see on the underside of him, there are 2 grooves there, which correspond to these parts here. And you just kind of connect that piece in here. Once that's in there, then we could affix it. There we go. And it stays like that. There he is on the flight stand. As you just saw, it does like to kind of go back a bit. You can tighten it here, but it stays fairly well. Move it a little bit. It does stay fairly well on the flight stand all by itself. Now, I wouldn't trust this in an earthquake, but for the sake of just flying, it looks pretty good. And you can attach the blast effect pieces here to the engines. Just like so. So you could have him flying. Zooming along. But again, you put him back a little bit and it just likes to kind of fall backwards. Kind of get a little bit of a side to side on it though. Getting the landing gear back out, let's go over a little bit about this jet mode. Now, in jet mode, he is almost a playset of sorts with the little minifigs. So, first things first, you can open up the cockpit there, and it has nicely detailed seat controls in there. And you could stick either wheeljack or jazz in the cockpit. Optimus Prime is far too big to fit in there. And he has joints at the hips and knees. You can just fit in just like that. There is a place right here. This is where Optimus Prime goes, in this compartment right there. And as you can see, that opens up and it's fully painted on the inside. There's a seat. You take Optimus Prime and just bend him at the waist, and he will go right in there. Sometimes I have trouble getting him in. All the way down. Move his arms. There we go. He goes in like that, and then you can just close that right up. He also has an opening. This is actually hard for me to open on mine. There we go. Opening right there. That is sort of just so you could position one of the other figures when he's on the ground, getting out of the ship. And then on the back, on either side, you have pieces in the legs that open, again, painted on the inside. So you have that, and you could fit another one of the little figures inside there. They can sit like that, but you can't have it closed. You can just kind of fit them like that, laying down, close that up, and you can even leave them there. But that's not the only thing you could do with the ship mode. It's really cool. This thing's got some heft to it. So we take this middle piece and open this up like this. Then this piece will come up. Take this piece, fold it in, then come back, fold that down, and connect that all back up. So you have kind of the double thing, almost like the old Macross. We take this little piece here, flip this out. That reveals a port. You go ahead and take the gun, the handle, put that up, and attach the gun handle to it. And it's kind of an attack mode. And the blast effects will fit in the gun, so you can have them firing. But you can't fit both at the same time. So another thing he could do is, if you take this piece up, there is storage under here where you could store the extra faces, as well as the battle mask. And these here, the chest pieces, will just friction in there on either side. All right, I had to move the camera very far back to get this comparison, but here he is with Siege. So you can see the differences between the two. I mean, this is still very much a main line, and you can tell by just how the plastic, the quality of it goes, but it looks really good. I mean, I would say both of these look excellent, and there's how they are. Side view, kind of get an idea there. I do like how the intakes show up here. The grills show up here as the intakes on the front rather than the side. But you can see, maybe you can see the differences. This is more of like a cream white, while this is a bright white. This is a very, very bright white. And this is painted white, rather. This is just the plastic. And here he is with an MP Seeker. This happens to be the MP-03 Ghost Starscream, but they're all the same size. Even the MP-52s are the same size as these, so you can get an idea of just how much larger this guy is than a Masterpiece Seeker. All right, now he does have a Gerwalk mode, which is weird. There was that one scene in the old show where they had him land with his legs. So in order to do that, we go ahead and just pull the legs down. They have a little tab right there. It doesn't hold particularly well, but it doesn't need to. Go ahead and take the hips, move the hips up like that. And we could take the legs, pull the legs out. And then this piece right here just clips into place. You can see on the other side here, like that. See where there is a slot. That just does the same thing, clip in place. Take the knees, kind of chicken them out a little bit. Feet come out. Now you're supposed to pull the feet out also, like that. But it doesn't seem to work that well for me to stand up. I'll do it for the sake of the video. Pull the heel out there on either side. And then kind of stand them up the best you can. You can also take the arms and move the arms out, kind of an unofficial mode to get them in. There he is. Kind of unofficially, right? But you need to take this whole backpack piece apart. So what you do is slide these wing pieces forward here, and then unhinge this. I can get it out. I can't seem to get. There we go. Unpeg that, and you see the arm in there, and just kind of take the arm out, and then fold accordion that in. This is part of the transformation to robot mode. Pull it around, take the hand out, turn it around. Then you go ahead and put the wing back and do the same for the other side. Okay, and one thing I did forget to mention for the arm. So in here is this hinge. You're going to need to know this for transformation. You can see it right here. You kind of got to push that downward in order to get these pieces to line up and snap into place. And then go ahead and just these just stay loose because it's not really an official mode, but it looks all right like that, huh? I mean, he at least has a gearwalk mode, but it does leave a massive, get this down, a massive like hole right there. But he can do it. You kind of want to put these up a little bit, make it like that. So he could do it if that's what you want him to do. And he stands up all right. So he can do this, which is kind of a neat little Easter egg. Now, since we're already almost there, I think we should just go to robot mode. So let's go ahead and move the legs down and move the hips back straight. Now, these pieces here are metal, which is really nice. Go ahead and move these back straight. Like that. We're going to go ahead and leave these down because we have a lot of work to do up there. Push in the feet. Let's stand them up like this so I can show you up here. So this is a point right here of breakage that I really want to take time to mention how this doesn't have to be broken. So this piece here, so there's a little clip right there. I've seen a lot of people actually break there. So this clips in the back and then it clips on the top. Then there's a little clip back here as well. So if you actually take this piece and undo that, then you could actually get this whole piece to kind of wiggle free. So you can just kind of lift this up and go like that. Don't pull on it. Don't yank. Because if you just lift this piece up and push it back, because it is on a hinge, and you kind of lift it up a little bit, it'll just free itself just like that. No problem. You don't have to use any force at all, and that will save this little bridge piece here from breaking. So make sure you do that. Make sure you keep note of that on yours. If you get it, please make sure. So from there, we're just gonna take this whole piece right here and move it like this. And then you'll see this piece come out, fold that down, kind of get that like that. And there's a channel right here. And there's a channel under here. And this piece slides all the way back, revealing the head. So then we could take this piece here, move that all the way up inside, take the cockpit around the head, like so, and then fold that down in there. What there is there's a piece right there that will tab into under here. You take it, kind of mess around with it a little bit, and then you find that tab. Takes some fiddling, but once you get it, it's nice and secure. And what we're going to do is go to the backpack. We already have the wings open from before. Go ahead and split this. Open up this piece here. Take this piece that's behind the head, fold that completely under, and then we're going to take this whole backpack piece, slide it upwards. It is on a slide piece, so the whole thing slides. There's actually a lot to this backpack. So now what we're going to want to do is take the wing, fold it, go ahead and put that like that for now. Just going to get these wings out of the way. It makes it a lot easier to transform. So we have this open, fold that in, and just go ahead and leave that just like that. I had to move it to get a better view in the camera. It's hard to do this. This guy's huge. So we're going to take the wing, after it's already split up, go ahead and put that down, just like so. And do that for either side. So you'll see there's a gap here. So you want this gap to be completely closed. So I find it easier to do this while it's still open, like that. So that closes up all the way. And then I can move this all the way up, like that. Take these wings, push them in, and then we're going to take this whole backpack part and collapse it together. It always gets stuck on something in the back. Ooh, I hate that noise, but it clips. It stays in tight. So you have to do it kind of in that order, and it works. Now this piece here, push in, that kind of accordions a little bit, and then you kind of pull it in, and then there's two tabs that the backpack tabs to. Now that we have the backpack all sorted out, let's go for the arms. So in the inside, the shoulder bits here, you have this two tabs, and this tab, take it, just pull that out. And that one tab right there corresponds to that one in there. And you kind of got to finagle it a little bit to kind of line it up. You kind of see it from the top and just kind of make sure it stays there. Going to connect it. This top piece will go over. No connector on the top does make this a weak connection. There you go, like that. Let's pull this out and then line them up at the top. Over the top. Go ahead and stand him up and ride his arms. Make sure he's all correct. Then we have robot mode. So in robot mode, this guy is pretty damn tall. I mean, just to do some comparisons real quick. Here he is with MP-57 Thundercracker. Just get an idea just how massive this guy is. And here's the Siege version to compare with Skyfire here. And you can tell there's a ton of differences where they both kind of take the cartoon aesthetic in much different directions. This one is very slavishly the cartoon, as to where this one definitely takes more liberty when it comes to detail and just overall presentation. It's very, very different, especially these head sculpts. I don't know if I can get them very close in here. So the head sculpt, of course, on the Siege, and then versus the head sculpt on the Masterpiece. There they are from the side. Kind of a case, but same but different. I know there's a lot of people that have been using the Siege in a Masterpiece collection, and I think that's fine. I mean, It looks the part. It's almost the same size. Lastly, a group shot with all the Jet and Skyfires. The ones I have at least. All right, let's move on to articulation. So articulation-wise, he is fully articulated. And as I think this is a first for Takara's hands, he has almost fully articulated fingers. So he has a thumb. The thumb could go up, could bend there and bend here, but it cannot rotate. His fingers, they're all on a hinge here, but he has individual fingers. Of course, there's only one hinge in the middle. No two hinges on the fingers, but it's a step in the right direction, I think. He has fully articulated wrists, up and down, all the way around. Biceps. He has a full range on the elbow. His shoulders are very articulated. You see his shoulders can butterfly. He can go up this high. This part here even could go this way and this way. Hear that clicky? Clicks all the way around at the shoulder. His head, he has his neck is articulated, so you can actually take his neck and extend it a bit. Kind of sideways up. He looks up pretty far from the side, kind of gets hit by the back, but he can also look down all the way around. He's got good articulation. He has no waist articulation. I guess technically he does have an ab crunch, but no swivel, fortunately. But he does have, he has hip flaps. He has knees that could go really far. And what's really cool is that knee that pulls it back like this. And this piece here is articulated as well. So you get to see this little mechanism in there. He has ankle tilts, frontward, backward for feet, thigh in and out, not that far. And he can kick, because he's got that hip, he could kick really high. So he's got a pretty good range of articulation. He is sort of wobbly when you stand him up. But you can see he's kind of wobbly a little bit. So there is that. There's a couple other things. So to change out this Autobot logo, maybe to a blank chest right there, if that's what you would like, or a Decepticon. His gun can be held in his hand, or if you'd like to put it on his shoulder via this little piece here, it does come out, and you can put it on his shoulder. But same sort of masterpiece hand style, and he holds it really well. Kind of slots in here. Just put his fingers right around it. Hold on to his gun. And that face sculpt, at first I didn't like it at all. And actually, I don't think it's that bad. Not in person. It's not as good as the Fans Choice Phoenix, but it's not a bad face sculpt. As you just saw, this does open up and have some detail in there. And it has translucent, so you can see through it. So all in all, very cool masterpiece figure. Now with that, let's get into some final thoughts. So in conclusion, this is a pretty good figure. I really enjoy it. It's much better in person than it is in pictures. His face comes through a little bit better. I'm not a big fan of the ultra cartoon look it has going for it, but I actually really like it. It is painted white over white plastic, so it is fully painted and has a lot of good features, a lot of cool things you could do with it. It poses really well. It actually stands really nice. The backpack is a little bit of a bear to get together, but once you get it together, it seems to come together really well. There are some tricks to get it like straight in jet mode and the backpack together. There's little tricks you have to do, but once you understand how it works, it's pretty easy to get it back that way without a problem. Anyway, I really enjoy this figure. He's now one of my favorites in my collection, and he is very large. I think he's the largest official masterpiece, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I appreciate you stopping by and check this guy out with me. So please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.